Hello students, welcome back. Hope all of you doing well. So we're starting a fresh new chapter. That's what wave optics. Recently we have learned ray optics, and in continuation of this we're learning now wave optics. So when we talk about light, there are two popular theories we have. So already we know about them a little bit. One is called what Newton's theory. One is called what Huygens theory. So Newton's theory, actually ray optics chapter, mainly it was based on the principle of what Newton's theory. Okay, and this chapter wave optics will work on what, mainly on Huygens theory. So let me briefly define those two words. Your ray optics that recently we have learned, generally all the phenomena of this topic work on what, or work with what, Newton's theory. That's called Newton's corpuscular. Okay, if you confuse about this word, this is nothing but photon. Okay, yes. So let me write theory also word here. Yes. So ray optics, all the phenomena that we talk, they can be explained by what? This theory, Newton's corpuscular theory. What this theory says, that all the luminous body will emit some constantly emitting some particles. They are called what? Your photon or what? Corpuscular, right? Now they travel at the speed of light 3 into 10 power 8 in all directions, right? Same thing only. So if you want to write few words, you can write what this theory is. This says that all luminous bodies constantly emits particles called what? Corpuscular, or you call it what? Photon simply, right? Yes. So this theory has explained the major phenomena that we have learned in what, ray optics. What it has explained? So if they ask that what this theory has explained, so it has explained what phenomena? It has explained like what is the reflection of the light, what is the refraction of the light, and it has explained like these also. What is diffraction? Sorry, not diffraction. You says dispersion. Okay, this phenomena it has explained. But some phenomena that we have learned in what, ray optics, that did not explain. You know what they ask? They like can't explain. Okay, what it cannot explain. Okay, it cannot explain like a concept of speed. You know the light, when it goes from one medium to other medium, its speed will change, wavelength will change, but frequency will remains constant. So this change in speed is cannot be explained with this theory. Okay, so this can explain what? Speed in different medium. Correct, na? Speed of the light in a medium is different than what? Speed in air. So that was not explained by what this theory. And what explains did not explain this theory did not explain or cannot explain the phenomena that we learn in what, wave optics. In ray optics we learn generally three things: interference of the light, diffraction of the light, and what? Polarization of the light. So these cannot be explained with what? Their theory. So can explain what? Interference of light. Okay, diffraction of the light, diffraction, and what? Polarization of the light. Okay, it cannot explain these phenomena. Also it did not explain the photoelectric effect that we learned in our dual nature chapter. Yes, it cannot explain that phenomena. Okay. So these I said ray optics works generally on this theory. It can explain these major phenomena that we have learned there. Okay. Also it cannot explain your TIR. Also keep in mind that we have learned TIR in this chapter. That also cannot be explained by what? Newton's theory. Okay. Then wave optics we learn mainly what? Huygens theory. Okay. Oh, I wrote spelling little wrong. This look like Huygens theory. So this guy, what he said? Your Newton said that your luminous bodies, they emit what? Particles, we call them photons simply. Okay, and they're traveling at the speed of 3 into 10 power 8 in all directions, right? In a straight line, right? It's rectilinear motion. So this can also explain the rectilinear motion of the light. Okay, but what he said, he said not like this. He said that when you have a source, okay, the medium around this is emitting some light. Okay, the medium around that source, every particle around that medium like is a phrase source of what? New disturbance. Means they are producing waves, they're trying to say. So he used some word, two words. One word is called what? Wavelet. One is called what? Wavefront. So what he's saying here, he said that the light travel in form of what? Wavefront. Let me write these words, then I will explain the meaning of them. What he said, light travels in form of what? Wavefront. He said that light travel in terms of what? Photons, corpuscular, right now? Yes. He said light travels in form of wavefront. And what is wavefront first? I want to write separately. Look here, wavefront. Correct. Wavefront is what? Locus of the all point where the particles are vibrating in what? Same phase. Okay. Locus of all points which are vibrating in what? In same phase. That locus is called what? Wavefront. So what he said? He said that light travels in form of what? Wavefront. Correct? And then he said what? That every point on a wavefront act as a source of new disturbance, means waves. Okay. What he said? Light travel in terms of wavefront. Okay. Then every point on the wavefront is what? Act as a source of what? New disturbance. It will create what? New waves. It will produce what? New waves. So this every point recording, this is called wavelets. Called what? Wavelets. Called wavelets. So the every source we're talking which is producing new waves, those sources are called what? Wavelets. Okay. Yes. Then he said that, okay, a tangent, okay, a tangent to wavelets at any time gives what? Secondary wavefront. He said that if you draw a tangent toward your wavelets, correct na? Correct. You draw your tangent to the wavelets, then you will get what? Secondary waves. Suppose look here, this is a source. This is producing some what? Waves like this. This is a source. After some time you wait, say that this is my what? Your wavefront. Correct na? You're saying this is what? Your wavefront. Then what happens? On this wavefront we have what? Wavelets. These are the points. We calling them what? Wavelet. These wavelets are like source of what? New waves or new disturbance. So every wavelet producing what? New waves around this, like this way. Okay. Right. These are the wavelets. So they're saying if you draw a tangent to these wavelets like this way, then this you will get what? Look here. This line is what? Your primary, you say primary wavefront. This is your primary wavefront. And these points are called what? Wavelets. Correct. And this line, the tangent to them will be what? Secondary wavefront. Clear? Okay. We have to take a wavefront in like forward direction also, because we know we cannot take like here, okay, because energy cannot flow in what? Negative direction, and energy always flows in what? In positive direction, forward direction. So you have to take wavefront in the front, right now. So wave continuously going forward. So what happened? This new wavefront. Now this new wavefront, there is again wavelets are there. They also produce what? New waves. So again tangent to them will give what? Your next wavefront. So light travel in terms of what? Wavefront. He said what? Huygens. Okay, then here we talk a small point like okay, what it can explain, what it cannot explain again, right now. So this theory can explain what? Okay, can explain what it can explain. Look here, reflection. It can explain the concept of refraction. Okay, your dispersion. It can explain what it can, like speed concept. Okay, speed in medium. It can explain TIR. Yes. Then all the phenomena, these what? interference, diffraction, polarization. It can explain all this, right? What it can't explain? Can't explain. Okay, it can explain what? PE, photoelectric effect. It cannot explain. This theory also cannot explain. Clear? Okay, so look here. Then small things to talk, that what type of wave fronts we have. Depending upon the type of source, we have what? Different type of what? Wave fronts. Okay, so a small point I'm writing here, types of what? Wave front. Okay, suppose you have point source, a spherical or what? A point source. Then what type of wave front you will get? You get spherical wave front around this. Like you have small bulb or a star placed very far. Okay, so look like a point source. So okay, first I'm writing here like first point source. Okay, point source will produce what type of wavefront? Spherical wavefront. How? Let's say, suppose this is a point source. Okay, is producing radius. So how the wavefront will look around? Like that one, circular loops. Right. This is what your source. Keep in mind, and these are what? Wave fronts. So wave fronts are going forward always. Okay. Yes. Then, so it's very important to understand that. Look here, your direction of the wave and the wave front are always perpendicular to each other. Suppose I ask you what is the direction of wave, then direction will be perpendicular toward this wave front. So this is the direction of the light. You say direction of the wave or direction of the light. So I can write here, what I can write? Direction of light is always what? Perpendicular to what? Wave front. Yes, very important. So these arrows, these represent what? Direction of your light, and these circular loops, or not circular, spherical, these are what? Your wave fronts. So point source will give us what? A spherical wave fronts. Okay. Then how to produce? You have suppose a line source, like you have a tube light, thin tube light, something, right now. Then it will produce what? Cylindrical wave front. Okay, what will produce? The point source will produce spherical wave front, and this type will produce what? Cylindrical wave front. Okay, how do they look? Suppose this is a line source, this is a source. Okay, then wave front will be around like this one, spherical wave front will produce. Then it will keep growing like this one. This is a bigger right? Yes. So look here, this is a source, light will like perpendicular to this, so light will go in the direction like that way, right? This is the direction of the light in both sides, all side. Okay. So this is your light direction, which is perpendicular to wave front, and these are what? Your wave front, this and that small. Okay. This is a source is this much only. Okay. This one, line source we need, like a tube light. Okay. Wave front is that. Correct. Okay, here remember in photoelectric effect we have learned some questions here, that how the intensity due to a point source varies with distance. So by chance they can ask here also, I am writing here, intensity due to a point source, how it varies with distance? It varies what? Inversely distance square, if you remember. This numerical we have learned in what? Your photoelectric effect. And intensity, and they can ask you amplitude also. What is the amplitude of the light? Proposed to what? Inversely what? Distance only. Because we know that amplitude, intensity, this is a very general common relation, that intensity is proposed to what? Amplitude square. We will learn about this actually after this, okay, when we learn interference of the wave. Okay, so look here, intensity due to point source, how it varies with distance? Inversely distance square. Amplitude, how it varies? Just inversely distance, right? Okay, so this is a cylindrical wavefront produced by a line source. Okay, and direction of light is always perpendicular to wavefront in any case. Okay, and now what I have to write? These 2 points, that how intensity varies here. Intensity, how it varies? Just inversely distance only. Okay, and how amplitude varies here? Inversely root of the distance. Okay, you see here one power is reduced in both cases. Here square and power 1. Here what? Power 1, power root, right? Okay. Then we have third type of wavefront is called what? Plane wavefront. Okay, no, I should write like, you have sheet type of shorts, or plane shorts, or sheet or plane shorts, right now, and it will produce what? plane wavefront. Okay, you have a sheet of light. Okay, yes. So if you have a sheet of light like this way, is producing light in both direction. Okay, right. So these are what your wavefront. These are called plane wavefront. Okay, yes. So look here. Here what will happen is very important to understand that what happened to intensity and amplitude. Due to plane sheet, lights go straight. It will not like diverging or converging, anything happening, right? They are parallel only. So intensity and what amplitude will not change. So it's very important to remember that here intensity, how it depends on distance. Distance power 0 does not depends on distance. Correct? Na? Amplitude also same relation. Amplitude, how it varies with distance, again does not depends on distance. Please write in words carefully that in this case, if you have sheet or plane shorts, then your intensity and what amplitude will not depends on what this. So your A is constant, amplitude is constant, intensity also what constant due to what a plane sheet or plane shorts. Okay, correct. Okay, these were the basic general knowledge. Now the first main topic, we have three topics here: interference, diffraction and what polarization. Okay, so main topic will be interference here. Your diffraction and polarization are small topics. Okay, yes. So let's start and learn the first topic, main topic, that's called interference of light. Okay, interference of the light. So interference word many times we have learned actually. Okay, two waves are coming, they're mixing, then they will cause what superposition, right now. This itself called what interference, right now. So in interference actually what happens, two or more waves comes and they mix, they superimpose, right now. So what happens then, the redistribution of the energy will happen, like energy from one wave is given to another wave or another wave to first wave, like, okay, so energy get redistributed, right now. This process itself called what, your interference, right now. So what we need for interference, look here, two things we need. The waves that are coming, the waves which are coming to what interfere, they should have what, either constant phase difference or what same phase difference. Also they should have what same frequency, and amplitude should be what nearby. It could be equal or small difference only, right now. Okay, so I write few words here about what is interference. When waves having same frequency should be exactly same, otherwise waves will not interfere. Two waves which have exactly same frequency, they only can interfere. Okay, so first we need the waves having same frequency and same phase difference. Okay, either you can say same phase or you can say what constant phase difference will also work. Okay, constant phase difference and having nearly equal amplitude. Okay, amplitude should be either equal or nearby to each other. Okay, so when waves which having exactly same frequency or same phase difference or a constant phase difference and having nearly equal amplitude interfere, okay, or you say superimpose. Okay, when they superimpose, what happens? You say redistribution of energy happens. Okay, called what? Okay, this phenomena is called what? Is called what? Interference. Okay, understood. So what is important condition? Two waves or more than two waves, okay, should have exactly same frequency. Correct. Here the equation will write in terms of sine and cosines. Okay, sine or cosine equation will write. So equation generally write this for like y is equal to what, a sine omega t or some phase like that way. Okay, this term is called angular frequency. That should be exactly same for two or more waves which are what interfering. Okay, if two waves have same frequency, then only they will interfere, otherwise they will not interfere, right? So what is interference? Two waves or more than two waves also, okay, having same frequency and same phase difference or a constant phase difference. Okay, and this is not much important, but if the amplitude is nearby or equal, then interference will be clear. Okay, So if they have what, nearly equal amplitude superimposed, then what happens, redistribution of energy happens, and this phenomenon is called what, interference of the light, right? So interference we have learned, actually if you remember in waves chapter of 11th class also, we have learned many small point there, like what is constructive interference, destructive interference, like phase difference, path difference, all these things we have learned there. Okay, so I will quickly revise those things, then we will continue this topic. All things will be exactly same like what we have learned there. Calculate maximum intensity, minimum intensity, ratio of the intensities, right? All these questions already we have done in what, 12th class waves chapter. Still we will do those again here. Okay, yes. So what I am saying, so same frequency we need. Frequency is given by this angular frequency, right? This term should be exactly same, otherwise two waves will not interfere, correct? So then you know that to do interfere we need an important condition also. Okay, that's called the sources. The two waves coming, the two waves should be what, coherent also. What is another important condition also in the, apart from this? Okay, wave should be what, coherent. What is coherent? Coherent means what? These again, two waves having same frequency, same phase difference, a constant phase difference, having almost what, same amplitude. These two waves are called coherent. Coherent means what? Waves having what, exactly same frequency, same phase difference or a constant phase difference, right, and nearly equal amplitude. These waves are called what, coherent wave. So coherent waves are produced by a single source only, right? We take a single source, then radiations or waves are produced, we will split into what, two radiations, then we interfere them. Two independent source cannot be what, coherent, because they will not produce what, same frequency or constant phase difference. So listen carefully, very very important about here, coherent source. Okay, waves, okay, yes, or I should write like I am writing here, what is coherent force? Okay, coherent sources or coherent waves or coherent sources, or right, like coherent waves are obtained. How you obtain coherent waves? From the same source, keep in mind, same source only. It's very very important. Two independent, okay, two independent sources cannot be coherent, correct? You want coherent waves or coherent sources means what? One source you have, you take like one bulb here, okay, this is one bulb, you put a sheet in front of them, you make two hole here, so two light radiations are coming like here. Now these two waves, if you interfere, they will do what? Interference, right? Because these two lights are what? Coherent. They coming from same source, we split it into what? Two sources here, right now. But if you put two independent source like this one source, S1, S2, right now, separately, you ask them to interfere, now they will not interfere. These are not coherent source. So listen carefully. Coherent waves or coherent sources are produced what? From same source only. Two independent sources cannot be what? Coherent. Two independent sources will not have, waves will not have what? Same or constant phase difference, keep in mind. So coherent source is produced by what? Same source only. Independent sources cannot produce what? Your coherent waves, right? Or sources. Okay, we'll continue about this. We will calculate what is phase difference between two waves, what is phase difference and path difference relations, right? So all these things already we have learned, still we will revise them. Okay. Okay, so small point we're learning about interference. Okay, yes, first most important is that your interference follows the what? Law of conservation of energy. In interference, energy is not created or not destroyed, just what? Exchange or redistribution of what? Energy happens. So it's very important to remember that your interference follows law of what? Conservation of energy. Okay, yes, it's very important. Okay, then small point, you want to calculate your resultant amplitude, right? Already we have learned in 11th class also, there are two waves we have, like sine theta, cos, there are some waves given, so they are vector only, right now. So you want to calculate resultant amplitude, you have to write vector formula only. Okay, so if you want to calculate resultant amplitude, two waves are coming and you have to calculate the resultant amplitude. How you write? You say that resultant amplitude R will be equal to what? You say A square plus B square plus 2AB what? Cos theta or cos phi. Correct? Where A and B are the amplitude of A and B are what? Individual amplitude, right now? Yes. And phi is called what? Your phase difference. I have discussed with you already that how to calculate phase difference. We will try to see it again. Okay. Resultant amplitude they will ask you, right? Then they can ask you what resultant intensity also. Correct. Resultant intensity they will ask you. So you know that intensity and amplitude, how they are related. You say that intensity is what? Always opposed to what? Amplitude square. Yes, all we have learned this. The intensity is proposed to what? Your R square, or you say A square, whatever you want to call. Okay, let's call it A square. Like A and B are the individual amplitude of what? Two waves they are coming at some angle, what? Phi. That is what is resultant amplitude, this one, right? Simple vector addition. And what is resultant intensity? This is a relation. So if you square this term, square on both sides, like R square is equal to A square B square plus 2AB cos, then intensity, how you can write? Resultant intensity IR is simply equal to what? I1 plus I2 plus 2 times of what? Root I1, I2 and what? Cos phi. Hope you understood. Already we have learned this. If some new student is here, then how this came? Look here, square on this R square. Intensity proposed to what? Amplitude square. This is resultant amplitude, resultant intensity. Then A square means like amplitude square of first wave, so it's equal to what? Intensity of the first wave, right? Right. Okay. So now we will use these again. You will see again when I write like constructive and destructive interference, I will explain these again. Okay. Then we want to calculate phase difference. How to calculate phase difference? We have learned many times. Still I am reminding here. Okay. Phase difference I will calculate. So there is no formula at all. With help of example we will see how to calculate them. So suppose you are getting this question, that if I say y1 is equal to what? A sine omega t, and another way I say that y is equal to what? Sine, say something b cos omega t, right? So you can see that one is sine equation, one is cosine equation, frequency should be same. So what is phase difference here? 90 degree. You understand here, right? No problem. Okay. Suppose same question asked like this way. I say y1 is equal to A sine omega t plus pi by 3, and y2 is equal to what? Some b sine what? Omega t. Correct? Yes. Now what is phase difference? Yes, you can calculate phase difference between these two. Like this is sine, you have to see outer symbol like sine, sine, both are sine, sine, no phase difference. Then you have to see inner angle only. This will be always same, right? So pi by 3, no angle here, right? So what is phase difference here? Pi by 3. Correct? Okay. Let's see another example. Y1 is equal to what? A sine omega t, and y2 is equal to minus A sine omega t. Correct? Look here, A sine omega t and minus A sine omega t. So minus sine theta you can write as 180 plus theta. Means what? What is the phase difference here? Pi, that's all. 180 degree is the phase difference. Sine and minus sine means what is phase difference? 180 degree, right? So phase difference between these two waves is what? 180 degree. Okay, let's see. Y is equal to A sine omega t plus pi by 3. Y is equal to what? A sine of omega t plus what? Pi by 2. Correct? So you see outer symbol is given same, both are sine and sine. Okay, no problem. Look inner, this is pi by 3, this is pi by 2. So what is phase difference in these two ways? You say pi by 3 minus what? Pi by 2. That's called minus pi by 6. That's all. Yeah, okay. Suppose now another example, you have this condition like y1 is equal to A sine omega t. Correct? And y2 is equal to what? A cos omega t plus pi by 3, or let me write some angle like this one, doesn't matter, I could do anything. So look here, first you see this is sine, this is cosine, and there is angle here, right? Okay, here I can also write angle, let's say something pi by 4, this angle doesn't matter. Okay, yes. So look here, this is sine, this is cosine. First you have to make outer sign symbol as same sign. Either both are sine or both are cosine. So any one you have to convert into other. Like cos you write in terms of sine, or sine write in terms of cos. Generally cos into sine you should write, that's easier. So how will write these two waves? Y1 you will keep same, a sine omega t plus pi by 3. This equation you can write as what? A cos. Sine 90 plus theta is called what? Cos theta. So you will add 90 years. This becomes sine omega t plus pi by 2 plus pi by 4. Now look here. Cos I wrote in terms of what? Sine. Now outer sine is, these are symbols same, should not worry. Inner angle only you have to subtract. So what is your phase difference? Pi by 3 minus pi by 2 minus pi by 4. That will be your answer. Correct? Hope you are understanding. So you have to see these symbols here and the angles here, right? Okay. So hope you understood. With the help of this example, I will calculate phase difference. Okay. Then if you remember that in waves chapter we have learned path difference also, right? Phase difference gives angle between what? Two particle or two waves at any time, and path difference gives what? Distance, right now. So look here, fifth point I am writing here, path difference. We have learned many like path difference, time difference we have learned in what? SHN chapter. Path difference we have learned in waves chapter of 11th class, right? Yes. Okay. Velocity difference, frequency difference, all these we have learned in what? Doppler effect, if you remember. So path difference we represent by del x symbol. So how path difference and phase difference are related? Phi upon 2 pi is equal to what? Del x upon lambda. Very, very important formula. At least in 4th chapter you see this formula, right? Phase difference phi upon 2 pi is equal to del x upon lambda. Correct? So this is called your path difference, means distance between two waves. That's called wavelength. Correct? And this is called what? Your phase difference. And that's what your 2 pi constant all. Okay, yes. So if you know phase difference, you can find path difference. You know path difference, you can find phase difference. Direct question also they will ask you. Mainly this formula will use when write the like two type of interference, constructive or destructive interference, right? Okay, so this you should remember. Other many format of this formula we have, like you can also write like phi upon 2 pi. This is called phase difference is equal to what? This is called path difference. You can write del t by the t. This is called time difference, right now. And you can write in terms of del v by velocity difference, right? You can also write like del nu by nu, frequency difference, velocity difference, right? Many ways. Okay. So now these were small things I told you. Now we will use all this together when I type of interference. We have two type of interference. One is called constructive, one is called destructive. These also we have learned in what? 11th class nicely. Okay. So look here. We are learning types of interference. We are learning types of what? Interference. So first we are learning is called constructive interference. Okay. Correct. Constructive interference. Constructive means you will get a big result, right now. Yes, two waves are coming or more than two waves are coming, the interference that produces the constructive is big result. Okay, that is called what? It will be a constructive interference. Okay, yes. So we want to know that what are the conditions of constructive interference and what is the answer like resultant amplitude in case of constructive interference, and then resultant intensity. These all we want to know. So let's start. So look here. Look at this picture. Resultant amplitude is what? Okay, first what is definition? Definition you will write that when two or more waves interfere and they gives a big result, right now. Yes, this constructive interference later when we learn next topic like Young's double slit experiment. Okay, we will call maxima and minima or bright and dark fringes, right now. So if constructive means what we will get? What? Bright fringe, right now. We will get maxima answer, right? Okay, so let's write what is constructive. Waves interfere and gives what? Big result, right now. Means big resultant amplitude or intensity also you can say. Okay, if we are getting big answer means they are adding each other. Here what? The waves will add each other and gives a big answer, and opposite of this destructive interference means two waves will cancel each other and gives what? Small answer or small resultant amplitude. Okay, so look here. What is resultant amplitude here? This is your formula, root a square b square plus 2ab and what? Cos of phi. So suppose two waves are coming of constant amplitude right now. So a and b are constant. You want to get this r answer as maximum. Constructive means r is your maximum right now. You get r maximum. Suppose you want to get here r maximum, then directly depends upon what? Here three things we have, a, b and what? Angle. A and b are what? Constant. Okay, two waves are coming having some constant amplitude. Then the r max directly depends on what? This term. For this your cos phi should be what? Maximum. Correct na? Your cos phi answer should be maximum, and cos phi maximum value is what you call 1 right now. What is cos theta's maximum value? 1. So for this what should be the theta? What should be phi? To get cos theta as 1, what should be phi? 0. Like cos 0 answer is what? 1 right now. Right. So if you get like what angle, like you say like 0 degree right now, correct na? Right, there may be other possible angle, not only this, because at many angles we have what? This answer. So you what should you phi to get this? You can have 0 degree, yes, you can have 0 degree. Then next angle, like if you write 2 pi right now, means 360 degree, so 2 pi, you say 4 pi, 6 pi, all these angles will give answer as cos phi as what? 1. Correct? Yes. So like angle between two waves are coming and angle between them is 0 degree. Then you will get what? You will get what? Constructive interference. Your answer will resultant amplitude will be what? Maximum. Okay. Not only 0, see all these angles. You see that you can write a general pattern here, like your angle phi should be a multiple of what? 2 pi into what? N. If angle is between two waves, means your phase difference between two waves is a multiple of 2 pi. Correct na? So your n is what? Actually n is what? Like 0, 1, 2, you say 1, 2, 3, it goes on, right? These numbers, integers, right? So if your phase difference in two waves is a multiple of 2 pi terms, then you will get what? Constructive interference. Like angle is coming 100 pi. 100 pi is a multiple of what? 2 pi. Like 2 pi into 50 is what? 100 pi, right now. So we will get what? Constructive interference. Two waves are coming with 0 phase difference, you will get what? Constructive interference. 10 pi, 50 pi, 100 pi, 1 lakh pi, right now, something. So multiple of 2 pi means you will get what? Constructive interference, right? Okay, this answer you can write, this is what? Phase difference, right? This answer in terms of what? Phase difference. Same answer you can write in terms of what? Path difference from here. So in terms of path difference, what will happen? Look, path difference. You wrote formula is phi upon 2 pi is equal to what? Del x upon what? Lambda. So what should be the path difference to get what? Constructive interference? Del x should be equal to what? Phi upon 2 pi into what? Lambda. Phi you putting what? 2 pi n. So your del x comes simply what? Okay, del x coming what? Del x comes what? N times of the lambda. So another way to say what? When the constructive interference will happen in terms of what? The path difference. If two waves are coming and path difference is multiple of what? Lambda, wavelength, then you will get what? Constructive interference. Again n is what here? N is what? Same 0, 1, right, 2, 3, like that way, okay? If your path difference is multiple of its wavelength of those two waves, then you will get what? Constructive interference. Suppose I say two waves are coming and they don't have any path difference, means 0. This term is given 0, then they will what? Produce constructive interference. I say two waves are coming having path difference of 3 lambda. I say 5 lambda, any 4 lambda, right? N times of lambda, you will get what? Constructive interference. But if suppose two waves are coming have path difference like lambda by 3, lambda by 2, here you will not get what? Constructive interference, right? You need an integer multiple. N is what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Same here also, right? Okay, so this is another way to say what? When the constructive interference will happen. Clear? Okay, so two ways to identify constructive interference, either in a phase difference or you know what? Path difference, right? Yes. Okay, sometimes this question, rarely they can ask in terms of time differences, so you can equate this and this term also, right now. But I think they never ask in what? NEET exam. Okay, so look here, let's move on. Now you want to know that condition, you understand that these two conditions your constructive interference will happens, okay? And do not confuse later, this will be called your maxima, or you will be called bright fringe when we learn YDS, okay? So do not confuse. When a constructive interference happening, maxima will be produced or bright fringe will be produced, okay? Yes. Okay, now what happens? Look here. We want to know that what is the maximum resultant answer. Okay, so suppose you want to write R max. Okay, what is R max? Look here. Suppose cos 0 we put here. We are putting what? Cos 0 means we are putting cos 0 degree putting here. Angle 0 degree means cos 0 means what? 1. So answer become a square b square plus 2ab. Right? That become right a plus b whole square and root. So what is the answer? Simply a plus b. So what is the maximum resultant amplitude? What answer? Simply addition of those two amplitude a plus b. Same way. This is what your R max. Now you want to write intensity also. Correct? Na? What happened to intensity? Your intensity correct formula is what? You say I is equal to, or I resultant is equal to what? You say I1 plus I2 plus 2 times of root of I1, I2 and cos phi. Write it carefully. This cos phi is not inside the root, it's outside. Okay? Yes. Now, I said suppose here this constructive interference again happening. So you want to get maximum intensity, same conditions only. Okay, phi should be this much and path difference should be multiple of this much, right? Yes. Then what is the maximum intensity? Look here, I max you will get here. What is the maximum answer? Again cos you putting what? 0. Cos 0 means this phi 0 means cos theta becomes what? 1. What is the answer? I1 plus I2 plus root 2 times of root I1 I2. This is simply equal to what? Root I1 plus root I2 and whole square. So I max becomes what? Root I1 plus root I2. This is your maximum intensity. Clear? Yes. So I max value is what? This much you have to remember. We will have a use of this little letter. Okay? Yes. Okay. This all about what? Constructive interference. Right? So here I will continue and I will talk about now destructive interference. Okay. In constructive interference, what is maximum resultant amplitude? This is amplitude, right? A plus b directly, simply addition of them. Okay. And what is maximum intensity? Root I1, intensity of the first wave, intensity of second wave, root of them, then addition, right? Okay. Then I am writing here what? Second case. That's called what? Destructive. Just opposite of the, okay? Destructive interference. So destructive later, when we talk about YDSE, Young's double slit experiment, it will be called what? Maxima, minima, or what? Your dark fringe. Okay, do not here when this happening, your minima or your dark fringe will be produced here. Okay, yes. Okay, same thing here. This is your resultant amplitude. You want to get R minimum here. You want to get destructive. Right now, you want to get R minimum. Your means cos phi should be minimum. And what's the minimum value of cos phi? -1. Correct? You R minimum you want to get, so directly depends upon cos phi only. Cos phi should be minimum, means minimum value of cos phi is what? -1. So what should be phi for this? Okay, when you put like cos pi, cos 180 means what is the answer? -1, right now. So angle should be what? Like pi, 3 pi, 5 pi, 7 pi, it goes on. At these angles we will get what? -1 answer as cos theta. So we will get what? Destructive answer. So it means what should be your phi? Phi should be multiple of what? Like 2n minus 1. Correct only? Yes. Into what? Pi. This should be what? Your phase between two waves, where n is what? Obviously n is equal to what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Not starting from 0. Look here. This constructive start from what? 0 if you watch carefully. Here also 0, but here destructive with n will start from what? 1. Because look here, n you put suppose 1 here, 2 minus 1 into pi, that become pi. And you put what? 2 here, that become 4 minus 1 means 3 into what? Pi, that's become 3 pi, right? It goes on. Suppose some people what they do here, they put 0 also. Usually in some rare book you will see, then this term will be what? Plus here. But I see in CBSE they write like this way only. This is correct method only. Okay. So 2n minus 1 into pi. If the phase difference is multiple of this, you will get what? Destructive interference. Two waves are coming having phase difference of 5 pi, 9 pi, right now odd multiples, right now you will get what? Destructive interference. Look here, even multiple like pi, 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, 8 pi, right, 100 pi, you will get what? Constructive. 99 pi means destructive, right? So at these angles we will get what? Destructive interference. Okay, suppose same answer you want to write in terms of path difference. What should be path difference? Right? So look here, same procedure, we will write the same formula only, del x is equal to same thing only, phi upon 2 pi into lambda. Phi is again what, 2n minus 1 into pi. Pi get cancelled, so you are getting your path difference, del x should be what, 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. It should be multiple of like that. Correct. So what, actually look here, I wrote now in terms of angle. Suppose you want to write here, your del x should be what? Del x should be like, what should be? It could be 0 also, no phase difference. It could be lambda, 2 lambda, 3 lambda, 4 lambda, it goes on. All these answers you're getting, then it get constructive interference. Similarly, you want right here, what should be del x? This is general formula. You can look here. Okay, first we write what is n here. Again, n is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Like this one. So del x should be what actually? Suppose n you put 1, it becomes simply lambda by 2. You get 3 lambda by 2, 5 lambda by 2, 7 lambda by 2. If you're getting this type of phase path difference, you will get what? Destructive interference, right? Okay. So constructive, destructive, hope you understood both things, okay? Yes. Then you want to get, what is your R minimum value here? Like R maximum you're getting like this way. So what is R minimum? What is the resultant minimum? Obviously, when you putting here in this formula, cos this term is minus, answer becomes a square b square minus 2ab. That becomes a minus b whole square and root. So what is the answer? Simply a minus what? B. Correct. And same way like you wrote your maximum intensity, you will get here what? Minimum intensity, I minimum. What will the minimum intensity? Same way. This term is what? Minus 1. So I1 plus I2 minus 2 I1 I2, that you can write root I1 minus root I2 and whole square, right now? So root. So you can write what? Root I1 minus root I2. That's what your resultant intensity or more minimum intensity. Please write it carefully. It's very, very important. Okay. So first I will do even small question they ask like related to what I max, I min, resultant amplitude, these questions. So I will do all those. Okay, so we're doing small question based on what? Interference. Before that, I have done a small mistake actually in previous when I wrote. Look here, what I did mistake, please give attention, it's very important. When I wrote I max and I min, okay, here I did small mistake, please correct this, okay. In constructive interference, we are writing maximum resultant amplitude and what your maximum intensity I max we calling. Actually, look here, formula like this one. Your IR, resultant intensity is what? I1 plus I2 plus 2 times of root I1, I2 and what? Cos of phi. So suppose we want to get I max, then I said this should be what? Maximum. Here you putting what? 1. So when you put here 1 with cos phi becomes what? This much, okay? This is your answer. So actually this IR you can write this like root I1 plus root I2 and whole square. That's what your I max actually. Because when you open this, look here, is a plus b and whole square, right? Root I1 square means a square becomes what? I1, square of this becomes I2, then 2 times of a and b, so this one. So actually what I wrote this much only, be careful, by mistake I wrote this much only, I wrote root I1 plus root I2 I wrote, okay. This is wrong. What is correct? You have to put square on this. I forget to do that, okay. So please in both, last you wrote now. So what is correct answer? I max should be like this one, root I1 plus root I2 and square. Please put square on this, okay. Same way here also I minimum, root I1 minus root I2 and what? Square. Please correct these two things first before we go to next point, okay. Sorry for that. So square you have to put on terms, okay. Then you get what? These answers, okay. Look here, then some small points we're learning here. Look here, one point, this question itself is very important. They ask the ratio of what I max and I minimum intensity, okay. In exam they directly ask that what is like I max to what I minimum ratio, maximum intensity to what minimum intensity ratio. You can write in many format. Simplest format is already in front of you. Suppose individual intensities are known, intensity of the first wave and second wave is known to you. I max, I min you can find from here itself, okay. So what is the answer here? Obviously root I1 plus root I2, right, divided by what? Root I1 minus root I2 and square of this complete term, that is your I max, I min ratio in terms of what? Intensities. Sometimes intensity is not given, the ratio of the intensity is given to you, like I1 by I2 will be given to you, okay. Two waves coming having the ratio of intensity like I1 by I2 is given something, 2 by 3, 4 by 9 something. So this formula you can write in terms of what? Ratio of the intensity also, right. Suppose you divide this whole equation by what? Up and down by root I1. correct? I am dividing here also by root I1, down also root I1, then what I will get 1 plus root I2 by I1 divided 1 minus root I2 by I1 and square of this. This is also what ratio of your intensity, correct? I2 by I1, this is your ratio, right? So it's in terms of what ratio. Okay, then we know that intensity proportional to amplitude square, right? So this answer you can write in terms of amplitude also, right? Amplitude is given and they are asking what is I max I min ratio. Then you can also write like A plus B, that's your maximum, A minus this is your minimum, right? And square of this, correct? So this also gives your I max I min ratio. Maximum intensity also proportional to what? A plus B whole square. Minimum is what? A minus B whole square, right? Here also sometime like both amplitudes are given. Amplitude first wave given, second wave given, then this is the answer. Sometimes the ratio of the amplitude is given, like ratio of the intensity given, same ratio of the amplitude given, then you can divide this equation by A and A, right? What you will get? 1 plus B by A, 1 minus B by A, and what square of this is what your, again, I max by I min ratio, right? Sometime, even one more way, sometime resultant amplitude and maximum amplitude and minimum amplitude will be given, R max and R min will be given to you. So if given, then this is what your R max only, look here, A plus B is what? R max by R min and square of this, because intensity proportional to what? Amplitude square. So maximum intensity proportional to what? Maximum amplitude square, R max square, right? Minimum proportional to what? Again, minimum square. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ways to ask, and almost all ways they have asked in what exam. Okay, so it's a very, very important question, ratio of what? I max to I min. Okay, okay, next question they can ask you like average intensity. Okay, what they can ask you? Average intensity. Let's write some symbol, I average. They can ask you what is the average intensity, right? Yes, they can ask you. So average intensity you can write many ways. I average, simplest way you can write like I max, maximum intensity, plus I min, minimum intensity, divided by what? 2. This is a one way to write. I max plus I min by what? 2. Or you can also write, suppose you know I max, I min, this is your answer. If you know individual intensity like I1 and I2, then this is what also your average. Just I1 plus I2, or sometimes you know what? Amplitudes will know, then you can also write what? Like A square plus B square, that's also what your average intensity, right? Yes, 3 ways to write. If you know I max I min, maximum intensity and minimum intensity, or you know individual intensities I1 and I2, or you know what? Amplitude also, right? You can write all these ways your average intensity, right? Okay, one question they ask is called, actually this question asked in next topic when you learn YDSC, they call fringe visibility. The clarity between what? Dark and bright fringe is called what? Or contrast between them is called what? Fringe visibility. So that also write in terms of intensity, so I am writing it here, fringe visibility. Okay, fringe okay. This, all this formula that we are learning, this, that already we have learned in what? Waves of what? 11th class also, right? Now fringe visibility, this gives what? Actually this beta gives what? Gives or tell you contrast or contrast between your bright and dark fringe. Okay, it gives what? The clarity, the level of clarity, how they are clear, bright and dark, how much bright is bright and how dark is dark. So the clarity between them is given by this term, is called what? Fringe visibility. So what is this actually? This is simply equal to, beta is equal to what? Is called I max minus I min divided by I max plus what? I min into what? 100%. Generally this answer written in terms of what? Percentage, right? Now, so fringe visibility, this gives a contrast between what? Your dark and bright fringe, or contrast between like your minimum and maximum intensity. Okay, how clear they are. Okay, so I max minus I min by I max plus I min into what? 100%, right? Okay, so if you want to get beta maximum clarity, then your beta should be like 100%, right? Now, so that will happen when you want to get this 100% answer, means what you should do, your amplitude of two waves coming, they should have what exactly same amplitude or same intensity, correct na? Yes, look here, I write here, if I min is what 0, suppose this term is what 0, then you get I max by I max means 1 into 100 what 100% maximum clarity. So when I min is what 0, correct na? Then you see that your beta fringe visibility will be what 100%. Your fringes will be having maximum clarity when, correct, when your I minimum is what 0, minimum intensity 0, means what two waves coming, they should have exactly same amplitude, right now? Yes, two waves, because remember I min is what, like you can see here, I min is what A minus B also, right now? So if A and B are equal, two waves coming of equal amplitude, right now, then you will get I minimum as 0, then you get what maximum fringe visibility, two waves having what same amplitude. If two waves are coming and they are having exactly same amplitude, then your fringe visibility will what maximum, that's called 100%, right now. The contrast between your bright and dark fringe will be what maximum, okay? Yes. Okay, then one small relation they can ask you, like your intensity and amplitude relation already you know. They ask like your what do you call width of the slit relation also. This topic will also come, this question will also come when we learn what next topic, YDAC. In Young's double slit we have like small opening, right now we call them what fringe width, no, width of the slit. Fringe width is a little different, we'll talk width of the slit. So that also related with our intensity, okay? So I am writing here, look here, intensity of light or is directly proportional to what slit width, or proportional to what amplitude square, already we know, right? So intensity I1 by I2, you want to write some two case, you can slit width, suppose let's write A1 by A2 width, let's write W symbol, W1 by W2, or amplitude means like A square by what B square, something you can write, okay? Yes, so this tell you what the intensity and slit width relation, okay? Width of the slit or slit width, do not confuse, width of slit. This word will come in next topic. What topic? YDAC, Young's double slit experiment. We have two slit there, light will come and will interfere them, okay? So intensity is proportional to what slit width, keep in mind, okay? And once it was asked in our exam directly, this much only, okay? Theory relations, okay? So now what we can do, we can do some questions on this interference, constructive and destructive result, and these small questions we will answer some problems, okay? Then we'll move to what next topic, that's called Young's double slit experiment, okay? Okay, so we're continuing this and we're doing some problems based on the interference we have learned, okay? Let's see. Problem number 1, in an interference pattern, the slit width, this is what? Slit widths are in the ratio of what? 1:9, find the ratio of maximum to minimum intensity. Slit width ratio is given. Recently I discussed that intensity is directly proportional to what? Slit width. The width of the slit proportional, and also proportional what, you know, A square, right? So here what is given, slit width ratio is given, they are asking what's the ratio of I max to I min. So look here, look at this first. Intensity, you say I1, I2 should be equal to what? Obviously omega 1, omega 1, these are slit width. So this is already given as what? 1/9. Means we know the ratio of the intensity, you know how much? 1/9. They are asking what I max by I min. So what is I max? I max by I min, what we know? We know what? Intensity ratio. So we can write this formula in terms of intensity ratio, that is what? 1 plus I2 by I1, 1 minus I2 by I1, and what? Whole square of this, correct? So I1 by I2 is 1/9, we need opposite of this, so it becomes 1 plus root of 9, 1 minus root of 9 and square of this. Root 9 means what? 3, 3 plus 1 is 4, same here down to 4 plus 2 means becomes what? 2. So it becomes what? 4:1, that's your answer, correct? Okay. Question number 2. Two coherent sources whose intensity are in the ratio of 81:1 calculate the ratio of maximum to minimum intensity. Okay, here slit width was given, here directly ratio of the intensity is given to you. Means what? I1 by I2 is given how much? Is given what? 81 by 1 or 81 ratio 1. So again they are asking what's the ratio of I max by I min. Same formula only will talk, this formula. So I am writing directly here, I max by I min is equal to what? Look here, 1 plus root of I2 by I1, means opposite of this, right now? Correct, this I1 by I2. So you write like 1 by 81, if you want write 1 minus root of 1 by what? 81 and square of this. Correct. 1 by root 81 becomes 1 by 9. Okay, so 1 plus 1 by 9 means what? 10 by 9. Correct. Here also 1 minus 1 by 9. What we get here? 1 minus 1 by 9. So that becomes how much? 8 by 9. And what? Ratio 9 get cancelled, so you get 10 by 8 means 100 ratio what? 64. That will be what? The ratio of the intensities. Okay, maximum to minimum intensity. Okay, this was question number 2. 1 2. Okay, 3 we are doing now. Two sources of intensity I and 4I. Two sources of intensity I and 4I interfere. Find the intensity at a point where path difference is what? Lambda by 4. They are asking resultant intensity at some point where path difference is given what? Lambda by 4. First, resultant intensity formula is what? In terms of intensity. Intensities are given like I1 and I2 is given what? I and 4I is what? Simply I1 plus I2 plus root, okay, 2 times of root I1 and I2 at what? Cos phi. Clear? This is your formula. I1 and I2 are given how much? I and 4I, and instead of phase difference we need phase difference. What they are given? Path difference they are given lambda by 4. So let's calculate first phase difference, then we put here phase difference what? Phi upon 2 pi is equal to what? Del x. Del x means given what? Lambda by 4 by what? Lambda. In this formula we have phase difference, sometimes phase difference given, sometimes like path difference is given to us. So first you can calculate phase difference from here. Okay, so this becomes what? 1 by 4. You can cancel here. So phi is coming what? Pi by 2, 90 degree coming. Okay, so now we'll put in this equation. So what is IR? Look here, I1 means this I1, that's what your I2. I1 is I only, and I2 means what? 4I plus 2 times of what? I1 and 4I and cos 90. How much phase difference we got? 90 degree, pi by 2. Cos 90 means that time is directly what? 0. Correct. So this is your answer. What is the answer? I plus 4I. So resultant intensity is what? 5I. That's what? The resultant intensity at the given point. Okay. So it will vary point to point. So it depends on what is given to us. Phase path difference was given. First you find phase difference, then use your resultant intensity equation. Okay. Okay. Let's move to question number 4. Question number 4, this says two beams having intensity of I and 4I. Okay, again two beams are given, intensity given, interfere. The phase difference between them is pi by 2 at point A. So phase difference at some point is given pi by 2 and 2 pi at point B. Find the ratio of the resultant intensity at point A to point B. 2 points they have given and phase difference given. They are asking what's the intensity at those 2 points first, then ask the calculate the ratio of those two. Okay, so look here, 2 points we write 1 by 1. Suppose point A we talking, correct na? So look, point A is at what? Phase difference is given pi by 2. So let's calculate resultant intensity at point A. Okay, same equation, this equation only we writing. Okay, I1 is given what? I2 is given 4I plus 2 times I into 4I, and angle is what? 90. If you understand directly you can write this as 0. Okay, because first case what is the angle given? Pi by 2. So what is intensity coming at IA point? Simply phi I. This is equation 1. Then what is intensity at point B? Point B, let's call IB. Same equation you have to use. And now phase is given what? 2 pi. Correct? 2 pi given. If you put cos 2 pi, what is that? Cos 0 is what? 1, cos 2 pi, 4 pi, constructive interference means we get maximum result. Okay, so you put here cos 2 pi means what? 1. So what we getting answer? Look here, I plus 4I plus 2 times of root I into 4I into what? 1. Cos 2 pi, we are putting angle what? Cos 2 pi, answer is what? 1. So this is coming phi I, this is like inside the root 4I square So outside becomes what? 2i. 2i into 2, 4i. So it becomes what? 9i. Correct. So this ratio they are asking that what is intensity at point A to intensity at point B, which is what? 5i by what? 9i. 5 ratio what? 9 is your answer. Correct. So like here similar question was here path difference was given. First you find what? Phase difference, then use this equation. Here directly 2 points are given and their phase difference are given. We can calculate resultant density. So they can ask you ratio, addition, difference. This question they will ask you. Okay, moving to question number 5. They say that if the ratio of the amplitude of two interfering sources is 3:5, ratio of the amplitude given A, B or A1, A2 whatever, find the ratio of maximum intensity to minimum intensity. So that question only I max by I min. So you know I max by I min, and what is given to us? Ratio of the amplitude given A plus B by A minus B whole square, and ratio given, then you know this you can also write what? A B by A 1 minus B by A and square, right? This is a ratio format or amplitude format. So ratio is given 3:5, means A ratio B is given what? 3:5. We need here opposite. So 1 plus 5 by 3, 1 minus 5 by 3 and square of this. Correct only? So 5, this becomes 8 by 3. That becomes, okay, this is what? 8 by 3 and that becomes what? 2 by 3 and square. 3 get cancelled 4 times. So 16 ratio what? 1. That's your answer, right? I max by I min. Okay, so question number 6 we are talking now. They said in an interference pattern the maximum to minimum intensity ratio was 36:1. Find the ratio of the amplitude. Opposite of that question. Okay, here amplitude ratio was given. They are asking what is I max by I min ratio. Here just opposite. Here I max to I min ratio is given. They are asking what's the ratio of the amplitude. Okay, same procedure only, same formula. This formula only we have tried. Okay, so you can write like this way also. First write I max by I min. Just write A plus B upon A minus B. You can write that format also, your choice. That will be easy. So I max I min is given 36 by 1 is equal to that term. Okay, or I'm removing the square here, so you can put root over this, right? Because we have to find A by B. So look here, A plus B upon A minus B is simply equal to how much? Root of 36 by 1. So it becomes what? 6 by 1. Cross multiply, 6A minus 6B is equal to what? A plus B. So 5A is equal to what? 7B. This is your A by B ratio. What is the answer? A by B? 7 by what? 5. That's all. Okay, let's move on. Question number 7. It says that the resultant intensity in an interference, okay, at a point on the screen where path difference is lambda is what? Given K. Okay, so resultant intensity is given at some point where again path difference is given lambda, intensity is what? K. Find the intensity at a point where path difference is what? Lambda by 4 in terms of what? K. Again 2 points are given and there they are talking about intensity, and what is given? Path difference given. So path difference given, we have to find phase difference, you know. Okay, so I am doing it here. Question number 7. Okay, first point. Okay, suppose point 1 we are talking, where what is given? Del x is given K, del x is given lambda, and resultant intensity is given I resultant given K symbol. Okay, okay, what is given as path difference given? Let's calculate phase difference. So 5 upon 2 pi is equal to del x. Del x given lambda by what? Lambda. Okay, so phi is coming what? 2 pi. Means phase difference at that point is given 2 pi. Path difference given lambda. We have found phase difference. Now write your intensity. So let's call it I something. Okay, resultant intensity already given K symbol. So K should be equal to this formula only we are writing. Okay, IR is already given to us. How much given? K value. The resultant intensity at that point is what? K. So this is given what? K is equal to. Look here. Okay. So now watch carefully. We need here now I1 and I2. They did not say anything about that, right now. They just said the resultant intensity at some point is what? K. So means the two waves when it's not given like what is intensity, like look in these questions, intensities are given I and 4I. Okay. So you took the all. Here they did not say it, so we said two waves are coming of what? Equal intensity. You can call them X or I, your choice. Okay, Yes. So what we calling this I1, I2? Suppose we calling they are what? Coherent source, equal intensity. So we calling like suppose I plus 2 root I and cos 2 pi. Correct. Cos 2 pi means what? 1. So this answer become k is equal to here I plus I. This becomes what? I. So become what? 4I. So from here we can find I, the intensity of any one wave. That's become k by what? 4. Clear? Okay. Or you can keep this equation itself. Now look at point 2. Some other point is given right now, where path difference is given how much? Lambda by 4. There we have to find intensity. Okay. So look here. This is a path difference given. Let's find phase difference. Phi upon 2 pi should be equal to del x. Del x means lambda by 4 by lambda. This get cancelled. So phi is coming what? Pi by 2. What is phase difference coming? 90 degree. So again let's find result. Let's call that k days. New intensity we calling what? K days. Again same formula. This formula only. Intensity again we calling equal. So I plus 2 times of root I and cos what? 90. Pi by 2, that term is what? 0, whole term 0. What are we getting? Just 2I. So this k answer they ask in terms of what? K days, they got answer in terms of k. So we see that I is what? Look here from here, I is k by 4 right now. So here putting 2 into what? K by what? 4. So what is the answer? K by what? 2. Correct? So intensity at that point is half of the intensity at the other point they're talking. Okay. There's one more question, one last question. Question number 8. It says that two sources of equal intensity produces maximum intensity of 100 units. Two sources are given of equal intensity, let's say I and I. Okay, that produces a maximum intensity of 100 unit. Find the maximum intensity when the amplitude of any one wave is reduced by 20%. Correct? So amplitude of one wave is reduced by what? 20%. Then they are asking what is the new maximum intensity. Okay. Yes. Let's see. Okay. Question number 8 we are talking. Look here. Initially saying that two source of equal intensity gives a maximum intensity of what? 100 units. Right now. So look here. Your I max is what? I max is equal to what? You know, in terms of amplitude it become A plus B whole square. Remember? So they said two sources of equal intensity. Equal intensity means their amplitude also equal, right? Intensity and amplitude are proportional, we know. So two sources of equal intensity means their amplitude also are equal. So these A and B both are equal. You can call like 2A square or become what? 4A square. So this I max already given to us. How much given? 100 unit. 100 units should be equal to what? 4A square. So from here we can find the amplitude of those waves which are equal, right? So that is coming, you see, 5, correct? Okay, 4 goes 25 times, then A square means what? This is coming 5 units. Listen carefully. Two waves are coming equal intensity means their amplitude also equal. So their maximum intensity given. Maximum intensity, this formula A plus B square, these are amplitude. Both are given equal. Yes, equals. You can find now what? Amplitude of the wave. Now what is said? Amplitude of one wave we keeping what? 5 only. But another wave, second wave is reduced by what? 20%. The amplitude of any one wave is reduced by 20%. Okay, reduced by 20% means remaining 80%. Correct na? So second wave has amplitude of what? 80% of the original only, means 80%. This is 80%, right? So this becomes what? 4. Means one wave will have amplitude of 5 only, but another wave will have just 4 unit only, right? Because the amplitude of second wave is reduced by what? 20%. 20% reduced means remaining 80%. So 80% of that is 5 is what? 4. Means now these are the two amplitudes. So now what is I max? I max is what? Again A plus B square only. A means what? 5, B means what? 4, and square of this, right? 9 square means what is the answer? 81 units. That's your answer. Correct. Amplitude of one wave was reduced by what? 20%. Correct. One wave we keeping same. So that's all. So these all are basic questions based on what? Interference, and they ask an exam frequently. So next lecture we'll do YDAC, means we'll continue actually interference only. Okay, and similar all these formulas we'll use again. Okay. So that's all. These all are the basics of interference. Okay, hope you understood, and that's all for today. Have a good day. Bye.